come towards the king side, the right flank. Very possible.
But I like that idea that you're mentioning, James, of getting the king to the left side really quickly. And
I don't know if I like it anymore.
Not anymore. Just like that. Instead of g4, it's b4. Also makes a lot of sense because you not only open up the bishop, but there's a rook lift potentially.
Nice move from Parham to start this game, showing his intentions. Hans, as we predicted, would play copycat. He would open up his bishop if white opened his as well. It's now really tough for the cornered bishops to get into the game. So most likely it's going to be about pushing towards the center, maybe bringing some knights out in the next couple of moves. Bit of a weird one. We rarely see numbers as high as 899.
I'm also surprised that, you know, with the time that they had, Parham saw b4. He definitely had to have this reaction that Hans has had on his radar. And with a 5+2, you don't want to burn so much time on move 2.
Yeah, he's debating which pawn to push. I was going to say maybe the e-pawn, maybe some knights coming out first, but there we go. Hans copies. In some sense, it's easier to be black in blitz games. You just react, at least the first few moves.
And I think he's getting ready to get the king to that right side, slowly but steadily. Also watch out for the queen coming out early into the game. Centralizes the knight behind the pawn. d5, a target as well.
Near symmetry on this board.
Yeah.
97, and we have a jam-packed E-line.
Oh, congestion in the E-file there. I mean, it's also the most logical move, probably. So very possible that it's played. Hans is maybe just worrying what might happen if Parham lashes out in the center, but no, he does decide to copy. And just to highlight Tanya's mention here, the totem pole on the E-file stacked up, fully blocked.
Love it, with perfect symmetry, with the pieces as well. It's pawns, knights, and rooks. Are we going to see a breakout in the center now with either the f-pawn or the d-pawn?
It feels like now or never for Parham somehow. If he doesn't break out, if he just goes a bit slower, maybe pushes the pawn one square, gets the queen off, castles, then the moment might have passed. It might just become too symmetrical. So he wants something here. He wants action.
And he's got to go for action, right? He's the one who's got to win on demand to take it to Armageddon. So he wants to dictate that. You don't want to be passive for too long. But I gotta say that I like the way he's handled the opening so far. It just looks like you're the one who's going to break the symmetry first. You're also controlling a c5 square. That b4 move to start with suddenly makes a lot of sense in this position. More space.
Makes a lot of sense, but he needs to speed up Parham. And here we go. He does speed up the game by blowing open the center. No longer can Hans Niemann rely here on copycat moves. He has to do something. Most likely he's going to take. And we'll see a flurry of exchanges in the middle of the board.
And at the end of that, if that was to happen, the queen lands at a nice central juicy spot there. I think that is the line that's going to play out right now. Parham immediately recapturing with the knight. Also gives a free hand in the future for the f-pawn to start moving up the board.
Yeah, and if everything does come off as we expect, then white is the one who will be quicker to get the king across to the other side of the board to safety.
Yeah, White's queen has ways into the game right now, where Hans's queen is still kind of locked in by her own pieces.
Ooh, and Hans pushes forward. He's trying to open up the diagonal. He's saying, okay, the last set of bishops, I want those off. Not just that, but pawn takes pawn will be met by a knight recapture. And there is a pin on the e-file. The white rook undefended.
He's seizing the moment, the only one that he had, to actually break in the center with that f-pawn, taking advantage of the placement of the rooks. Not making it very easy for Parham to go shock castle, to castle on the right flank just yet with pressure on the e4 pawn.
If only Parham's b-pawn was one step back, then he'd feel safer about castling on this side of the board and just shuffling his rook over. Still a possible move, but now the b4 pawn kind of sticks out.
And suddenly the black knight also eyeing the c6 square where it could start hitting that pawn and the queen.
Exactly. Double attack incoming. Feels like it's been a success for Hans, this opening so far. He's not behind on the clock, and it looks like he's equalized the game.
And he needs only a draw to bag that 7th place, to bag $25,000.
And what's becoming a bit of a pattern here for Parham, once he realizes he's in a tricky situation, both the hands go to the forehead. He does make a decision.
Danger though, the queen is attacked, the pawn is attacked, there's tension on the bishop. So you could remove that black knight, but I don't know, the bishop in an open position, you ideally want to keep it. He feels he needs to. Black recaptures, and Hans still looking very solid here.
The one thing I think Parham is hoping for is to make it very difficult for Hans to connect his rooks. You've got to play against the king and the undeveloped nature of the majors in black's position here. Will he be in time? I mean, ahead in development, so it's really a game of momentum right now. If Hans consolidates, finishes his development, he's clearly better.
Black bishop has a beautiful square to sit on as well. That would disrupt white's forces. So, yeah, he just needs 1 or 2 moves. Hans Niemann here, but Parham trying to figure out what to do here, and now has cost him time on the clock. He's dipped below the 2-minute mark. He moves his knight.
Getting it forward. It's coming to f6, it's coming to e5 with threats.
I mean, can the queen come out with the double attack?
A check.
On the king, yeah, a check, and then
It might do now.
Knight.
Ooh, I was
wow.
expecting that move, but just moves his king. Keeping it up his sleeve. I guess the knight was defended, so the white king could have just moved. He's kind of keeping it up his sleeve for later. Maybe the black queen has other angles it wants to jump in on.
Might be time to jump in with a knight to f6 to take care of that threat.
There we go.
Also, a big move coming in. If black isn't careful, rook e8 would trap the queen.
Ooh, careful. Game-ending threat. So the black queen should just move.
But I'm going to take a lesson from Tanya that she's been telling us all tournament long. We see an opportunity to pin a piece. We could have gone all the way to the h8 square and pinned it against the queen. He thinks better of it.
What's the lesson called, James?
To put pressure on the pinned piece. First, we have to create a pinned piece, though, in order to build pressure on it.
Yeah, and you can still do it. You can still put the queen on the diagonal. Hans Niemann wants to get his queen in a different way, though. He's eyeballing this avenue, the black queen, on a long diagonal. Instead, he's opened up a file for the rook. Be careful, Parham. There's so many entry squares down here later.
I'm going to get you to say it at least once on the broadcast, James.
No chance.
Watch this
No
space, chat.
chance.
Parham on
There's
the
no
Parham.
teleprompter for me to be Ron Burgundy, so I'm safe until next year at the very least.
Okay, to take or not to take? I'm channeling my inner Sarawan.
You're going for it?
Then there's no question. Then you go for it.
Oh,
Instantaneous.
very brave. Usually not a pawn grabber, David.
Normally, only if I can definitely get away with it and live to tell the tale. Here the knight is offside, the white king is really open, but my philosophy here, you have to suffer for something, and otherwise you're just allowing the black rook in, you're getting attacked, the white king is so open, you need something in return.
And in fact, it's the only move that's not zeros on the engine.
And I think very importantly, after a check on 8-6, after that move, you have a knight retreating move that blocks the check and saves the knight. So possible. He doesn't go for it.
He's not a pawn grabber, Parham Maghsoodloo. Shifts up his rook instead. But, I'm starting to get scared. This is a really awkward pawn. Sticks out so so weak here.
And I wonder if the idea is to slide the rook over to the b3 square to keep that pawn defended. If that was to happen, instead, Hans activating his queen, defending both d7 and f7 as he does that.
The white queen almost feels overworked. She's on a lovely square center of the board. She's defending the knight, defending that pawn that ultimately could be attacked, and that crucial a1 square where the rook might want to come into. But still, play focused on the right-hand side of the board.
But I like how Hans has done it. He needs only a draw, and now he's got 2 files to play for to infiltrate with the rook. The a1 control, he might shift focus to the other side of the board now.
Yeah, full board awareness. He can start coming in. It's not just that, but how's Parham going to win this? He might need queens off the board. I'm thinking long-term, the knight does stand decently against the bishop. It's on a cemented square, outpost, protected. And maybe you could use a 2 versus 1 on the king side later with the absence of queens. But I don't think you can hope for more while the queens remain on this board because white's king is just too weak.
Hans infiltrates.
Infiltrates, and the queen is blocked there now with the rook on b3. So I like this move by Hans. It defends d7. Ooh, watch out. g5 hanging, falling with a check.
Defended.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, the rook's coming in now from the other side.
And the position's slipping.
The rook. Oh, the king is running left and right, desperately trying to hide. But it's game over, apparently, if Hans delivers the correct checks.
That's it. You can run, but you can't hide. You're fighting against the majors. The queen about to join the party from the first rank.
And you're fighting against the clock here. Hans, so much more time to work with.
Mate threatened. Parham dodges it for now. But, oh, is it game over? There's another check here.
And the rook will have to block it. If the king moves, that would be checkmate. But look at that classy stuff from Hans coming in with the bishop.
The bishop's coming. The king's on a light square. Killer attack. This is just game over. The white knight is not participating in this game at all. King steps forward. But that doesn't feel like it's going to save anything here. A queen check from Hans Niemann. If the queen had blocked, the black queen could have taken another pawn. The rook blocks instead, but that does allow some nasty checks in the corner.
You could start with a check just about now. He does it, and not just the corner checks, the flank checks as well coming in with the rook. That's it. It's checkmate.
And there we go, handshake, and it is decided. Hans Niemann takes the win.
He gets the win in the tiebreak scenario, a position we would always call him favored in. He extends to the tiebreak, forced it after an initial loss to Parham Maghsoodloo, and he'll lock up 7th place here in South Africa.